Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's September 16th of 2023, and it's almost 10 p.m. at night here in Fort Worth. It was not a really hot day today, so I think this is the first day in a long time that we've had, you know, better weather. What I wanted to show you was, and I think is built into, this is Copilot over here on the area over here. It's on my taskbar. I put it on the taskbar, but I think it is Copilot. It's AI, and I think it came with Opera browser or something else. So I just put in what is Howard's notebook, which I tried that. I used that before on another AI program that I forget which one it's built into. But I just used that again with this Copilot. Oh, wait, let's go up here. Oh, I see, okay. Copilot, and it came with Bing, the Bing browser. Although it says with Bing Chat. Do I need to move this microphone over here? Oops. Not sure. Hang on here a second. Okay. Ask computer questions. What are some meals that I can make for my picky toddler who only eats orange-colored food? Windows Copilot uses Bing Chat to respond. AI can make mistakes, send feedback to help us improve, learn more terms of use, privacy statement. Okay, so I ask here, and I also ask on another different thing a while back, and I didn't ask well, anyway, I did a search of what is Howard's notebook, not who is Howard's notebook. And so this basically came, so this is the second try at this later on, and they both came up with the same thing basically. So what it came up was Howard's notebook is one of the world's oldest and most influential online sites. It was created by Jim Howard, a pioneer of blogging and live streaming video, in 1982 as a bulletin board system, BBS. He moved it to the web in 1995 and has been updating it ever since. Howard's Notebook has been recognized by LinkUp magazine as one of the 10 best online sites in 1984 and featured in BBS The Documentary. Howard's Notebook is a personal blog that covers various topics such as politics, technology, history, and entertainment. Jim Howard has been blogging since 1982. He was one of the first online sites. In fact, he has been blogging for over 35 years. You can also find him in BBS The Documentary by Jason Scott. So, now I just took this and copied it, and I went to let's see, I want to go to YouTube here. And go to my channel. And then I want to go to customize channel. Then, and this are the settings, for the systop or the person, who has a YouTube site. And you have things you can do. You can lay out, you can do branding. And let's go to basic information here. And you see, down here is where I pasted this information. I removed the other information, which was basically the same thing. And I pasted, this in. Now there's a limit of 2,000 characters or something, so there was more information that I could have pasted in, but it would not have been accepted there. Also, as you can see over here, there are identifiers below, but when I edit it, now I wanted to leave that in, but it automatically, when I edit it, it pulled those things out. But it tells you where they got the information, footnotes. And so that's interesting. So what I did is, of course, just put down here underneath this to show where this came from. And I put, source, conversation with Bing, and the date. And I put the above from Copilot, AI preview. It's in preview. So now I did another search. I did, can I contact Jim Howard directly? Now that's one of their recommended, one of the three things I think that, and it says Jim Howard appears to have a profile on Facebook. You might be able to contact him through there. However, please remember to respect his privacy and only reach out in a respectful manner. It's important to note that this might not be the same Jim Howard who runs Howard's Notebook. Always verify the identity of persons before reaching out. Then I asked a question which I kind of hate to ask, because I really feel like I was the first person to do blogging, even though the word blogging wasn't created. The term for blogging hadn't been created for a whole bunch of years. I guess in the 1990s or whatever. But I feel like that actually, and I understand why. It's generally the credit for blogging is given to 2 or 3 other people, and that's here. Now I'm not going to paste this in, at least not now. Maybe sometime in the future I will put it someplace. So that's a little bit of a look at Copilot, and a little bit of a look at AI. I was really glad when AI was first available to me and to others, that I ran this test, who is Howard's Notebook, and it came back with that information. That was interesting. Now we're inside I'm going to delete this. I don't need this on the screen. And I can move this over here. And you can see me better. You can see that I have currently 3,785 subscribers. Now I have more viewers than that, but that's the number of people who have subscribed. And I hope when they subscribe that they click on the bell or whatever that is down there, because then you will get a email letting you know that I have posted a new, entry. Now sometimes I don't no, okay, see, it's not, oh, wait a minute, it's not for that. It's, oh, okay, when I post a video, I mean, automatically, I mean, when I write the, I pull in the video, I pull in whatever I pull in, put the information in. But when I go to enter the information as I go along towards I get to the end, and I post it, the system asks, do I want to post that to, let's see, it's not Facebook, because Facebook basically kicked me off, although I think it still posts there. But anyway, I sometimes I don't click notify because there's very little information in there, and sometimes I do. But I don't actually go in there and post it. I just, the software does it automatically. As you can see, within, let's see, I have 3,785 subscribers. And in the last 28 days, let's say a month, I got 4 new subscribers. I'm 82 years of age. I think you can probably do the math. I sort of doubt that I will be alive to see 4,000 subscribers. So it'd be nice if you go ahead and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. There have been 6,000 views in the last 28 days of my videos. It says here that my estimated revenue so this would be for, well, I'm not sure if that's for the, well, it says last 28 days, but I mean, about $13. And it's rare, I mean, this is money that YouTube pays to me. Although I don't get even, I don't get $13 a month. There's months that I don't get anything. Let's see. Impression click-through rate. Average viewer duration. And so this is, the average. And it's 10 minutes. So, let's see, I can go to video analysis. I can go to channel analysis. YouTube gives, the people who create YouTube videos, gives them a lot of information that they can use and understand. Let's see, so this is the dashboard. Here is the information from content. This is the way, that I see my information. And then there's also analysis. I think that's what we just saw. No, this is different. In the last 28 days, I've got 6,000 views. and it says that that's 595 less than usual. Watch time in hours, 428, and that says it's about the same as usual. Subscribers, I got 4 in the last 28 days, and that's 14 less than usual. So maybe I need to start bugging you people. I'm not really going to do that because I don't like it. I watch YouTube videos, a lot of YouTube videos, for various reasons. And I get kind of tired of some of the people who really, just go on and on about subscribing, So I don't want to be that person. So down here, your top 10. Okay, so this is for the last 28 days, I'm guessing. Update number 1 for the last 28 days is update on retired RCMP. That's the raccoon guy, or the raccoon whisperer. I mentioned his name a couple times and said, the raccoon guy. And a couple of his followers, how dare you call him the raccoon guy? He's the raccoon whisperer. Let's see, number 2 is, I guess you people like to see me choking, because number 2 was it's when I choked on, what was it? I was drinking Coke. Yeah, that was it. And that was 201 people. And the average duration of watching was 3 minutes and 51 seconds. The next is UPS thing I did. Or no, United States Post Office thing I did. I still have not received, I'm still not signed up with them. And I still have not received the code number that comes through the mail, regular mail, not internet, I still haven't got that. I think I hear rain. In a few hours it will be my son's birthday, my grown son's birthday. Let's see. Okay, comments. Okay, here's a bunch of comments. Subtitles. Copyright. Let's see. Copyright. A long time ago, I made a video that lasted, I think, less than a minute or whatever, when I was in Florida, of a a beetle that snaps its body over in half, and it makes a snapping sound. It's loudest snapping sound. It's the way it scares away predators. But I was in the living room down in Miami, and I heard this clicking sound. It was so loud that I thought it was an electrical circuit or something popping. And then I saw the the thing. So anyway, and that got a lot of views. And in the last, let's see. Oh no, okay, it's not on the list here. Let's see. Okay, let's see how much money I'm earning here. This is gonna. Wait a minute. I think I want to go back because there was more. Removal request, messages, and archive. Okay, no. So yeah, I can hear rain outside. Ways to earn. Okay, I think you can see that. I guess you can pause it if you want to look at it. I mean, of course you can't click on it. Customization. Okay, I showed you, here's branding. which you can change. And here's what you saw a while ago. Well, I don't think I went down far enough before. Each YouTuber now, they increased it. You can have how many ever this is links. So I've got somewhere you'll see it on the on my thing. You can click and go to, then it will take you to Amazon, and it will take you to a thing that I created that I keep wanting now to say system, that any YouTuber can create that's using Amazon. And I created a little thing that lists some of the things I'd be very happy to get if somebody wanted to make a gift to me. Then I have Get YouTube Buddy. If you click on that, it takes you to YouTube Buddy, and that's an extra from outside of YouTube that integrates very well with it and enables me and others to do a whole bunch of things easier and to get all kinds of information and data. And if you click on YouTube Buddy and you sign up, if you're a YouTuber and you sign up, I would get a little commission. This link is to a TikTok site that I think is great, although I am prejudiced because my oldest daughter does that. She has a TikTok site, mainly about plants and yards and stuff like that. Okay, I see I have YouTube Buddy listed again until I can find something else to put in there. Then there's also part of Social Blade, which, wait a minute, let's see, Social Blade, is that, yeah, I think that's the same one we're talking about. If you click on that link, it will take you there and show you a whole bunch of information about my site, in case you're wondering. And then, okay, there's a repeat of Social Blade. Now, this, by the way, is I use them for my phone service, and I've been using them for my phone service for a long time. It's a voice over IP site, and they have more than just getting a phone line. They have a bunch of other stuff that's available, and there again, if you click on that and you buy something, I'll get a very small commission. And then I just put this, I've been using for a long time, Harry's razors. Well, they sell other stuff too. They sell colognes and that kind of stuff. But I've been using it for a long time for the razors that come. They automatically send them to me at a certain interval. It seems like it works out. And it seems like it's a good blade. And if you click on that, I get a commission. I've never got a commission through it, but let's see. Let's go to settings. Okay. This is settings. Here is basic information, the country of residence, keywords that are automatically put in, although I can add more as I go through that I put in. Then see, advanced settings is here. I'm gonna sneeze. Feature eligibility is all enabled for you all. Let's see. Upload defaults. That's automatically added. These tags are automatically added. I can add more tags. My nose keeps running for some reason. I just had some turkey. I don't think I'm allergic to turkey. Now permissions, whoops, wait a minute, I gotta go back. I see, okay. Advanced settings. License is a standard YouTube license. Category of the site is in, I put it in, people and blogs. You have other choices, of course, depending on what, autos and vehicles, education, entertainment, gaming, all kinds of things. Language, captioning, allow all comments or hold comments that are inappropriate. You can hold all comments until they're reviewed. You can even disable comments. Some people that have, let me think. Oh yeah, okay. The guy who has a wife and three kids, two boys that are about 12 or 13, and then a girl that's younger. Because you just can't. He, I'm sure, has disabled all comments because he would just be getting stuff that he would not appreciate, because that's the internet and that's the World Wide Web, and that's what we have to live with. I saw a video yesterday, I think it was, and it's pro-gun shooting, and it's named after a 10-year-old girl. The father apparently has set this up, and a 10-year-old girl, and she is very cute, very articulate, and he does not have he has not disabled comments, and he has I have 3,500 viewers who have subscribed. Okay. He has 400, I think it is. It's a gun site. And he has, I think it's 400 and something thousand subscribers. And the site is named after his daughter. And I just watched one video, and I didn't see him at all in the thing. I only saw her walking around with a, let's see, was it a, let's see, it was an auto. Okay, same that the FBI went for a short period, but they went from handguns to automatics. Or did they already on automatics, and then they went to the 10 caliber, and then they left the 10 and went to something else, because this little girl, she's walking around holding it. I don't see anybody around her, I mean, I don't think the first hospital I worked, hospital security, Well, we had 2 security officers shot in the line of duty. One permanently disabled and the other, John Galegas, killed. He managed to shoot the guy that shot him. And, okay, so there was no accidental discharges there while I worked there. I went to, from that hospital, I went to Trinity Lutheran Hospital. So I'm just going to talk about accidental discharges. We had a security officer shot there in the arm. And then we had I just mentioned that in the video. I did a video about that, I think it was quite long, about Vincent Exley, who was an armed robber who, when he robbed a place, he didn't leave anybody alive. And it was in Kansas City, Missouri, and it turned out he worked at the hospital. And I had been on the second shift as supervisor for years, and I came over on the day shift. And he worked the day shift. He was transported patients from their room to surgery, and then he transported them wherever they went, maybe back to the room or maybe to the intensive care unit or whatever. He did that. So when I came to the day shift, it was the first time that I saw him. And I saw hate and rage, and I thought, this guy wants to kill me. And I asked the other security officers, the guy, I described him. Oh, yeah, they told me, of course I knew already because I saw him, what he was doing. But, yeah, he works in surgery, and he transplanted. And I said, what's the deal with him? Well, what do you mean? I said, he looks at me like he wants to kill me. Well, no. And I said, have we put a ticket on his car? Have we towed his car? Have we had any kind of a... No. So then a few days later, whatever, same thing. I run into him and I see this guy hate, and I asked the other officers that have been working that shift, what's the deal with this guy? Oh, nothing, And it turned out that he was the serial armed robber who, in fact, while working at Trinity Lutheran Hospital on his lunchtime or something, he walked about a half a block down to an adult bookstore and robbed the place and killed both the people who worked there. And of course, the police found that out later on, although I don't think he was charged with it. They charged him with other, I made a video, I made one video about it fairly recently with more details. Anyway, now I want to talk about, during the Republican National Convention, when Ford was President Ford, they held the Republican Convention in Kansas City, Missouri. And our director of security, he said, Jim, I'm contacting, and gonna have this, our hospital made, the hospital for, and I said, for the President of the United States. And I said, no, they will not make it here. The hospital for the President of the United States has to be a trauma center. A trauma center, is a hospital. Well, I didn't tell him that. I'm hoping he knew what a trauma, But a trauma center has to have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have the doctors that are there. They have a cardiologist. They have a heart surgeon. They have, everybody is there. At other hospitals that are not trauma centers, they have an ER doctor, and there may be some other doctors that are working there or doing something. But the trauma centers, everybody is there that they need. They don't need to call anybody in. And that's, of course, going to be, and that turned out to be correct. That was, our hospital was not where the president would have come if something had happened to him. By the way, if you get a chance to watch the West Wing TV show, from the past, and I recommend it. Could somebody, not that I'm kidding, not that it would do any good, but could somebody strap Donald Trump to a chair and make him watch every episode of the West Wing? that's how accurate and great it is, Wouldn't work with Trump. He's too stupid and everything else that's bad. So anyway, at Trinity, when I hired in there and was in the security office, I saw some bullet holes in the wall, and I said, "What happened there?" Oh, one of the security officers, he doesn't work here anymore, but he was having to go to the range, to yearly, like we had to, police range, to qualify. And he thought he was dry firing, no rounds in the revolver. But he had some bullets in it, and he put some bullet holes in the wall. So, then later on, well, it was during the Republican convention, that's why I mentioned that. We were working 12-hour shifts, 2 weeks straight, which was unnecessary. I mean, 2 weeks, but our director of security was, oh God. And so I came in, to work or whatever, and the director of security said, "Oh, so-and-so, he had an accidental discharge of his firearm. He dropped his gun and it went off. And so from now on we have to keep the chamber underneath the hammer, no round in the gun." And I said, he did not drop the gun. These guns nowadays, the gun he's carrying, the guns that we're all carrying, if you drop them, it does not go off. And I said, so he was, showing the gun to somebody or doing something he shouldn't have been doing. Oh, no, he. Several years later, that security officer said, I didn't ask or anything. Oh, Jim, when I said that I had, dropped my gun and it went, he said, I was showing it to a respiratory therapy guy in the stairwell of the hospital. I said, well, I knew you didn't drop it and go off, but I said I didn't know where you were when you were and who you were showing it to, So let me see. I think that's okay. I think that's the last accidental round firing there. So the next hospital that I went to, that was Research Medical Center, and they were taking over other hospitals, buying them. I mean, not when I got, it was a while after I got there, a few years. They just kept taking, and they took over, I don't know, almost all the hospitals in Kansas City except for the trauma centers, except for KU Medical Center and except for Truman Medical Center, and but they took over all the other hospitals. And there was a guy who worked at one of the hospitals that they took over, Baptist Hospital, and he, on his own, in the past, had paid his own money to get advanced training in, firearms and instructing and all types of things like that. And so the hospital made him our range officer, to plan some training and do that type of stuff for us. And so anyway, he was working at Baptist Hospital, and one of the security officers over there handed him his, revolver, saying, "Could you check this for me?" or something to him, and the gun accidentally went off. I got to give the guy credit. He made a mistake, and this is the. Well, now, I can't remember so long. I can't remember if the officer handing it to him made a mistake. Well, one, I'd say, yeah, having ammunition in it, and handing it to the, but the instructor, the our firearm instructor or whatever, he took full credit for the mistake that he made and said he did a stupid thing, and so that was credible. I mean, that was good of him to behave like an adult, and not try to blame somebody else or whatever. Let's see, the next hospital I worked at, Research Belton Hospital, worked there 9 years, no firearm discharges or anything like that. Then I worked for a year at Lee's Summit Hospital, no firearms discharged while I was there. Anyway, you get the idea. Okay, so here is a 10-year-old girl outside with all kinds of targets set up, and she's shooting them. I'm sure her dad was there someplace. I guess he was operating the camera. And that's just, if you read the news, if you watch the news or whatever, you know that experienced people who have all kinds of training make mistakes, and she's a 10-year-old, 10-year-old girl, and that's totally inappropriate. But that's the one that has like 450,000 subscribers, and commenting is turned on, and they're commenting about the girl and how competent she is with the gun, and that's just wonderful, and on, and it just makes me, oh God, accidents happen, and you'll see on YouTube, I guess you could probably do a search for accidental firearm or gun accidents or something like that, and I'm sure you'll pop up. I've seen several on YouTube. One was a teenage boy, maybe in the basement, maybe a preteen, and he had a gun in the basement, and he says, I'm not supposed to be taking this gun out. I don't want my mother to know. And then boom, it went off, and then he said, oh my God, he was yelling, I'm going to get into trouble with my mother. Nobody was hurt. And I've seen several things like that. Then I saw one, wow. And I knew, well, of course, okay, I knew because of the title of the YouTube video, but I would have known even if they hadn't have titled it, even if it was, I would have known that something bad was going to happen, because the guy was using old military weapons. I forget what they were. Really old. And he was using extremely old, because there wasn't any ammunition for the old gun. He was showing everybody and talking about how great it was and how powerful the bullets were. And the bullets were old, super old. And so he fired the round, and the barrel exploded, and shrapnel in the thing came back and hit him in the neck and severed his artery. When that artery up there is hit, cut, or whatever happens to it, you're a dead person. Unless you're on an operating table. Maybe you could be in the hospital, in a room, or maybe you come inside the hospital, walk in a hospital to visit somebody, and some weird thing happens. But this guy was in the country, away from everybody else, with his father with him. Now, he was a young man, an adult. And boom, it went back and severed his aorta. And he put his hand in and grabbed sealed it off as best he could. And they were away, and the closest ambulance or hospital was a small hospital, and it wasn't fucking close. And so anyway, his dad instinctively knew what to do, and he knew what to do, and he You know, he got in the car. His dad called the hospital while he was driving there at a high rate of speed. And the hospital, I think, is like 30 minutes away or further. And the dad calls the hospital and tells them what's happened, that he's coming in, that his son's I'm not sure if he knew that his artery, but we're coming. And the hospital, everything went okay. This guy survived. The hospital, and I'm sure they were probably volunteer because it was a small hospital. They sent the ambulance, and to meet, they met, and then they transferred him right away to the ambulance. And anyway, he survived, and he came back. And then I saw the video where he, came, came back. But that was totally stupid of him. I mean, that was so stupid. I know he's a gun lover, and his dad, I guess, is a gun lover, and half of the United States, I think all men, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but, half the United States is, oh man, we love the Second Amendment. We don't love other amendments, but we love the Second Amendment, right to have a firearm and to carry it around and display it and take it into public and all. They love that. But, and all the comments left underneath, and there was a ton of them. I just read a few of them. Every one of them was, oh, you've got a great father, honey, to the 10-year-old girl. I really think he should turn off the comments. You can't have a 10-year-old girl. Probably couldn't have a 10-year-old boy on there that's not going to get inappropriate things. I'm not saying honey, but I'm just saying. But also, I hope all these. So this guy has his site and he's making good money. I didn't check. I could run him through that thing. And I forgot I had this on the screen here. I could have actually. Well, I probably wouldn't have found it. I don't want to, But anyway. Anyway, all the comments, every one of them was, oh, your daughter is just so pretty, and she is so smart, she's so articulate, and she was. And I didn't really see anything except I don't think a 10-year-old girl or boy should be holding a, it wasn't a Glock, it was a 10 millimeter 10, wait a minute, 10, anyway, what the FBI went to, and then the FBI decided they didn't. They went back to something else. I think they went to the same thing I carried, I think. When we were allowed to, when the Kansas City Board of Police Commission allowed Kansas City security officers to carry something else. And then I went to 40 caliber, the same thing that the police department went to, 40 caliber. That was a great gun. But I wouldn't want any child walking around with one. I wouldn't, whether it's a girl or a boy. And if they are going to do some shooting, which I'm not sure. I could be wrong on this, because the American Rifle Association in the old days, they taught firearms safety, hunting safety, and other things. The American Rifle Association was, a great organization until they went crazy, and that's about the time that because I was a member when I got out of high school. I mean, I could have joined before, but I subscribed to the magazine, and I took out a membership, and then when I was, every month I would love reading, the American Rifleman magazine. It was great. They did a lot of good. Firearms training. For World War II, uh, a lot of the men who went into the military, and we needed, men and women, of course, also. But a lot of those guys had been given training by, the American Rifle Association. So, but they went crazy, and I was a subscriber and a member, and I saw, they were great. The magazine's great. Every month I get it. I'm looking forward to it. I read the ads. I start at the beginning, and I read everything in there and enjoy it and learn a lot. And then they started going crazy and also going greedy. And then finally I just couldn't take it anymore. I loved the magazine, everything so much, I didn't cancel. But when it came time for the membership renewal, I couldn't, because I was watching the news and reading the newspaper, and this is before, a bunch of stuff. And there was all kinds of shootings happening. Nothing compared to what it is today. But there were shootings and things happening. I remember actually sort of the magazine that I got. There were 2 or 3 articles in there about how, the government was going to try to take our guns away. They haven't done it yet, And how guns saved somebody or whatever. And then at the same time on the news, a clerk at a Quick Trip or 7-Eleven or something like that, some homeless guy ran in and grabbed something off the shelf and then ran and left. The guy was not armed, and the clerk stepped outside, shot at him. He was off of the property also, which really shouldn't matter. He was, but shot him and killed him. And then there was the same time that I got my magazine from the American Rifle Association. There was a kid that accidentally shot his father. Father was sleeping, and the kid found the gun and went and shot his father. And there were 3 things in that magazine at that time, and that's it. That is it. That they, because I could see they weren't telling the truth. They were, they gave 3 things in there. Blatantly also racist and everything else. It was like, and I thought, oh no, I just can't. I can't support the American Rifle Association anymore. And goddamn, I won't be getting that magazine. But anyway, enough of this. Thanks very much for watching.